Quick reminder, everyone, this talk is intended for educational purposes only. We are not financial advisors. I did want to, before handing it off to Mario, just a quick note on SPY here. I did mention in the think tank into the close today, we saw that short-lived pop. If I just get into the intraday charts, kind of based on that news, something about Ukraine and NATO. It was kind of a nod to Russia. But anyways, the way I'm approaching all of these pops, and I'm sure you'll have a similar sentiment, Mario, is basically, all of these pops are suspect until proven otherwise. So basically what I'm looking for is at the very least, and I don't have it on this chart, but at the very least, what I want to see is some price action trading over even the fast MA. That could be the 5, that could be the 8. But I'm looking for something more constructive here. As far as, the trend right now, we are in a downtrend. And so that's kind of how I'm approaching things. In terms of levels, we got the 415 mentioned yesterday as a potential target. That was the high volume node. You can imagine all the volume right through here. So that was the area to be watching as a zone for a potential bounce. We saw that was exactly where we bounced today, the 415. So that was pretty much pinpoint. As far as continued downside, we've got to watch where we started to get bid off of this low, that late February low, huge volume day right there. And so if we start to break that area, you could imagine all these, and anyone who piled in long here from the past couple of weeks is going to start taking their stop. And so just those are the two main levels to be monitoring, the 415, and then we'll call it 410. That's going to serve as a good psychological level as well. Mario, I'll go ahead and pass it off to you, sir.
Oh man, that's a scary looking chart. That's all I can say. Let me see, because okay, there you
Should
go.
be good.
Number 2 is this one right here, and you can take it back.
Okay.
So for today, since I've been MIA, not really, but yeah, MIA, I was on vacation. So I prepared some charts. So let me see where if there's any comments, anything you guys need, just please let me know, Kyle. So basically this is what I did today preparing for this. So basically last time we met was 215. So that's 3 weeks ago. We talk about the Qs being on a weekly sell setup, right? So that was like for swing trades or whoever follow that type of strategies. We talk about we've been talking about how the big money plays the market, and usually big money works on weekly charts, or even probably monthly, but more tactical on a weekly charts. So me and most of you, I think Kyle too, being trend traders, being on a weekly sell setup, once it's confirmed, basically takes pretty much all of the buy support, let it bounce and buy it, buy the BTF, bounce and all of that stuff. It's just out of the windows. I mean, like, meaning some of the strategies will play and could work on a particular day, because anything can happen, right? But for the most part, if you're trying to do that, you're probably having trouble over the last 3 weeks, because that's not the place to be. You should be looking for shorts. So basically you should be doing exactly the opposite, trying to get position into your shorts and just let them pay you, right? Let them sell. So going back to that, this is what we're going to be looking at. The Qs on a weekly sell setup. We're going to see how we're setting up right now. The daily, last time we spoke, we were inside a range, and that range was identified as 350 to 360, which is a tradable range. That's the 3% that usually we can play with it, right? So the short call was under 343 for 334 and 330. I wasn't expecting to hit the 2 targets. I mean, like, I was just like, okay, probably we're gonna hit target 2, and that's it. And then we went past that. I think we hit 318 today, 320. So that was I mean, certainly a great trade for whoever did it, right? So let's go into what we're talking, right? So we can cement these ideas. Like when we're talking about weekly sell setup, this is a weekly sell setup, right? We have now we know it's distribution, right? So the weekly, we were expecting this to be accumulation, and we're so used to it because we've been trading in an uptrend pretty much for the duration of how long we've been doing these meetups, right? These meetings, these hangouts. So of course we were here waiting for the triggers and never got the triggers. So then we have the massive move down, and this is our first tilt. We come back into the point of control, right? The declining 20 MA, right? Under the 50 MA. So this is our point to get short, right? Confirmation of the sell setup comes when we make a new low. So here's a new low. Now, when we look to the left, we're going to start looking for areas where we could actually test. So when you look to your left, you look at this pivot right here. That pivot was from April, May last year, right? So about a year ago, and that was the 340, 320. So that was the target, right? The second target that I wasn't here to call. But that's if you're playing this one, of course, you know how to see it. You know how to read your chart. So here's your target, 320. Now, what's concerning as far as the weekly pattern is now everybody's talking. Now everybody knows we're in the downtrend. Now what's going to happen? Of course, for me, my easiest, my favorite play is shorting the sell setup. I don't like shorting the momentum trade right here, but we have to discuss it, right? Because a lot of people trade momentum. So under the 320, all we can see is like this pattern right here at the 300, 305. So that'll put us down another, probably another, what is it, 10 points on the Qs. That's another 3%, 4%. I'm sorry, 20 points on the Qs. So that's another probably 4 or 5% because we likely it's going to go. That'll put the Qs, in case you haven't heard the news, we're now in correction territory. So it's 20%, right? We're down 20%. I don't know with the close today. So we should be like at 20, 21%. Now let's look at the daily chart. So now we understand where we are, right? The problem is the location that we have right here. That's why we're doing the hangout today, because this is important, right? This is one of the points where we wanted to make sure that we have a plan. Are you going to play the momentum? If you're a momentum player, you can do it 320, 300, probably take the next leg down. Or what's going to happen right here? This is when we start looking at your wyckoff, uptrust, springs, all of that other stuff that we do. So this is the daily, right? I took this one. I think that's a close. So correct me if I'm wrong, but I think this is how we close. So what we see here is basically this is the weekly sell. This is what we saw. This is a 200 MA, and this was a call that we made in the tank, and we said this is not the place to get long unless we close over this one, because we were trying to do a reversal. Whenever we try to do a reversal, you got to take into consideration that you're going against the trend. Whenever you're going against the trend, and please make a note, because this is going to save you a lot of money. Whenever you're trying to go counter trend, please use tight stops. Make sure you get the best entry. Make sure you don't chase. Make sure you're not buying the highs. Make sure all of that stuff. So if you were buying today the pop, you're a little late, and probably you got caught and you closed pretty much at the lows with a lot of money on the loss side, basically, because you were buying and you're going against the trend. So we got to keep that into mind all the time. So we got the 200 in May. Then we have the sell-off. This is the 318. This is one statistic that I like to keep, or one tool that I like to keep, and this is a 2 standard deviation. I got Bollinger Bands at 2.5, at 2, at 3. I don't know where it's going to stop. We were looking with Kyle and the other guys, the chart at CVX. Today we hit a target of 174. Exactly, put the Bollinger Bands at 2.5, and you're going to see that exactly where we hit. So it works, especially when we're coming from a big move, like people has no reference point, and then you go into your bigger one and you have the 320, 318, but that usually, they tend to coincide, right? So we have this move right here. If you were here that day, I hope you were not trying to short the lows after 5 or 6 day down, and after such a big move down, 3 standard deviations, you're trying to short, not a high odds trade. The trade is, of course, to go long. If you tend to do that, target one, you all know it is a 200 MA, the 20 MA. I'm sorry. So this is a trade. It lasted 2 days and then is nothing, right? Then we go back into what we have here. So what do we have here is we're forming a lower high. So you're coming from here, right? Failure to make a new high, lower high, new low, lower high, sideways, kind of an entry right here, new low, lower high, you have a pivot, lower high, and then what we need to see, this is exactly when the things align, right? The 320 is going to be so key for us, because once we start breaking, if we're going to confirm that the weekly and the daily charts, we need to make a significant new low. So what I'm going to be watching like a hawk over the next few days is if we can make a significant new low. I understand some people will be like, oh, 318.25, new low. No, that's not a new low. I need to see a significant new low in order to confirm the move and the momentum that we have. So this is how the daily chart. So we have a weekly on a sell setup, right? Already triggered. So we're looking at momentum short under support, under kind of reference level. Don't call it support because it's not. It's just a reference level. Okay. And then we have the daily chart, right? With the same premise, right? We cannot say it's support right here because all of this move, all of this volume was made in this day. So we don't know where the volume was made. It could have been done at 330. So basically at 320, there was just a handful of people that bought at 320, right? That had the guts and they just bought at 320. So I'm not sure how much support we're going to see here. That's why we trade price action. So we're going to wait and see what happens. Now, here's a different one that I also like to point out, because this is something that is changing, right? We just talked about March a couple of years ago when I took my break, right? And then I came back, and this is exactly what happened in March, right? This is March, the COVID thing, big volume. We were here, the short broke the trend down, and they just V-shaped new all-time highs for 2 years. So we've been in a bullish market for 24 months, pretty much. Now, what happened in January? And this is so telling because I know we were watching this, right? The trend broke. So since January, at least, we've been on the longer time frames, we were having some red flags, you know, like telling us, hey, it's not the best time to be loading. It's not the best time to be buying the pullback. It's not the best time to be putting all those, you know, like leaps and all that stuff like in January. I mean, you can always do it if your time horizon is 5 years from now, but just why not just wait and get those things at a 30%, 20, 50% discount like we have, right? So now this is what's going on. It's been 3 months now, and you can see here we're approaching the 25 MA, right? So that 25 MA will put us like at 320, which is basically where we're stopping. And then the next one you can see here is this level right here, which is the 300. So all of these analysis, just to come up to a conclusion, is like we're finally at a point where something could happen. I know there was a pop today and it didn't last, and it was something about Russia or whatever, and then it was probably President Biden saying that he was going to block all the Russian oil. So we don't really know, but what is like really, and I mean, astonishing, I don't know if that's the right word to put it, like really like telling to me is like, yeah, and everything happened just at the right price that we need to be watching. So it's
News
like
follows technicals, right?
Yeah, that's what I tend to take. You know, it's like you telling me that. I mean, like today, and we bounce on some BS news because you. I mean, I don't even know what the news was, right? But we did bounce. But what we have is like, look at this right here. It's a 320. That's a 320. We're testing, right, for the second time. So where do we go from here, right? Because now this is when we go like the monthly, right? the 350, right? The 350 zone right here, right? That'll be a good pullback to buy on a monthly signal, right? Because that's gonna actually tell us we got some strength. I'm talking long term, right? That'll be when I say like, okay, there's some people buying. We put finally a bottom right here, at least a pullback. So 350 is my point in the monthly chart. Now I want to show you guys something. V-shaped recovery, right? I say like, wow, are people, we just gonna blast off from here? Probably anything can happen, but let's take a look at this one. I don't know how closely you follow this one, right? But look at the move on VIX that ignited a V-shaped bull run. So this is March 2 years ago with COVID and everything. VIX hit 85.47. Even if that was a panic and for just a couple seconds, look at the levels right here, 60. And then we have a V-shaped recovery, right? Look where we are now. Far from there. What's that telling us? Basically, there's no panic, right? It's been just big guys selling, liquidating their stock. So we come right here, and I'm gonna just make it basically compare what happens this year so far versus how we closed last year. So the 20-day moving average for the VIX now sits at 2970. This is what we're dealing with right now. It's about 10 points higher than the closing average for the last year. So last year we were trading 17, the average was 20. So I just took the calculation for 20 to 30, that's 33% higher. So we're dealing with a higher VIX, but not a panic one. So then we're gonna have to make some adjustments at the way we trade. So this is the last one, and then we go to the live chart so we can work some of the ideas for tomorrow. But my main message after we have seen all of this is like the news, all of that, yada, 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 yada. But the technicals are pretty basically, can you say that again, Kyle? Technicals lead the news? Is that what you say?
News follow technicals, yeah, something
News,
like that.
yes, something like that, right? So we gotta be very tactical right here. Why? Because we have a high VIX. We're trading 30% higher. I mean the VIX. So make sure you know exactly, you know, the options you're trading. Talk to Kyle. Make sure you're not paying too much for your options. You know, the stocks that you're trading are, you know. So let's look at the very tactical. What I mean by very tactical. So I'm coming right here, right? So there's 3 points that I want to look. The 320. You guys saw it pretty clear from the monthly chart, from the weekly chart, from pretty much every single chart, right? Here's the 320 right there. Here's the 320. Now you're going to see it here. 320. You see it right here. Now here's the 320. So guess what? 320 is a key level for me. I don't care for who else, but for me, it's a 320 is a key level. So we're going to be looking at that one. You have two choices. You're a momentum trader, you short, whenever we break on volume, on momentum. Pretty simple, nothing more. What I'm going to be looking for is if we're going to trap people at 320, because you guys know I love that trade too. So I'm going to be looking at 320, probably break in the morning, probably tomorrow, probably the day after tomorrow, probably 3 days from now. I don't know when's that going to happen. And then I'm going to look for what I call a reversal trade, right? A reversal day. So the reversal day goes under the prior day's low and then regains and starts just eating on the candle from the prior day. So that's something, right? Why? Because I can see 320 and 340. We can easily test the 340. We saw it this day right here, and we saw the exact same move from here, 340 to 324. You don't need to get it all. If you get 330 to 340, you'll be more than fine. Now, what we have is the chart is telling us exactly where the resistance is, okay? The problem we have is a lot of the times when we see the rally in the day, we start buying 340 thinking, oh, it's just gonna go 400. But we forget that we have a chart. The chart is telling us that this is resistance zone. So basically you should be selling into resistance, right? That's your target one. If you trade like I do, you may trade different, but this, I'm telling you what I do. So we're going to be looking at the 2 The point number 2 is a 340. I got to make a decision at 340, right? Am I going to short again for a lower high? Or am I going to take some and try to see if I can fill this range? Why? Because again, it's a 3% range, which is big, guys. We trade in the Qs or we trade in the SPY because we have momentum, we have increased volatility, we have a lot of news, we have a lot of volume, so we can do it. I mean, like, I don't need to look too much into individual stocks if I can make 3, 5, 10, 15% in the Qs, right? So keep that in mind. We're going to be looking at this number 1. We're going to be looking at the 2. Once we get into 2, I'm going to be looking at a range trade between 340 and 350. What happens if we go over 350? Look at the volumes right here. 350 will take me to 360. And I told you 350 is a level from the monthly chart. So once I go over 350, everybody's going to come right here and they know, oh, pullback 1, 2, 3 into the moving average. Now we're going over the prior month high, 350. Target is 382. Longer term, right? So that's the way I'll be approaching. Probably this is gonna be until a couple of weeks when we come back and revisit if basically the plans, because all we're doing here is game planning. That's all I can tell you, right? If we start going down, we know the targets. We start going up, we know where resistance is going to be, and probably the big target is going to be this one and then 380. I don't know what's going to happen. I don't know if the war is going to be over tomorrow, right? So for tomorrow, this is what I do based on my levels, because my levels are so close and they're so big, so we can trade this, right? So this is the 320, this is the 325, and this is the 330, right? Write them down, and for tomorrow, this is what we're going to be doing. Okay, so that's the cues. I know I took a little bit of time to explain them just to make sure that we understand how important it is, the level that we're trading. It's not, I mean, that's when I, with Kyle, we talk and we say, no matter what, we need to have a hangout today, because this is important. This is a key level. Like people, one of my mentors was actually calling, some people yesterday. They say, yeah, they finally saying, oh, we're in bear market territory, and this is the time to short. Probably we're down 20-something%, right? So take it with a grain of salt. Trade the chart. That's what we do. So let's look at some charts. Any questions? Let me know, Kyle. So let's look at Apple, because I just do the normal, whatever FANG thing. So for Apple, nothing going on, basically. Still strong, is over the 200 MA. The weekly over 170, over 172. That's what I wanted, like right here. I'll be waiting for this one to probably show me some strength. But I don't find it that appeal, like 170, 182, 10 points, I can make it on the Qs, not a problem. Now, why am I even bothering with Apple? Because this is the one that usually people will say, like, oh, let's buy this, the one that hasn't gone down, right? So they're probably gonna try to pick this one up, and if the market breaks and this one finally goes, that's gonna be an awful trade. Right? So I usually go to the beaten down stocks that are our support levels, right? This one is nowhere. This is like, you look at the monthly chart, I don't have anything. I don't have volume. I mean, if it was at 130, I'll be buying in here. I mean, it's 50-50. Let's call it 50-50. So I don't want to spend too much time on this one. That's a waste. So let's go to Amazon now. And Amazon is a weekly sell. So we come here and we're going to look at the monthly. I'm sorry, the weekly. I want to see the weekly. So this is the weekly. This is the weekly. And this is pretty much like the market, right? So we have a massive base on Amazon. We have probably some good news in here. They try to break it, trap some people, and broke. This could have been a spring, right? Because we have massive accumulation, volume, time, everything. So this could have been a spring. Now, the problem is, like, we came back and now we're testing the lows. So what I like to see for this one is this could be a momentum trade for 2,500. This is what I'm looking. I'm just looking at the weekly chart. So this could be a short momentum for 25. And then we evaluate what's going to happen with this one. I don't like the action here for the bulls unless we start hitting 3,100. So for now, and if you want to do a range trade, well, that's pretty simple. All you have to do is like 28 for 300, which is a good trade. But I'm calling the bigger time frame trades, right? So I want the Momo one for 20, basically 2650 for 2,500 as a target one. Yeah, 2480, I think it was. Yeah, 2480 right here. The 200 MA on the weekly. Okay. So here's the area that we will be testing, right? This area right here, that's where the big move started for Amazon. So let's see that one. That's a momentum short that I'm looking, right? Let's look at Facebook. It's a solid drift. It's a downtrend. Basically, this is just like under the 214 to 200. That was a call last hangout that we have. So the 214, it hit like, I think yesterday hit it like twice. So it's the market right here. So this one, I don't want to touch it unless we start hitting 175. At 175, I want to hear the alerts. I want to hear the watch. Let's watch Facebook, Meta platforms at 175, 180 could be interesting for a reversal trade right here. I don't want to trade it. If you want to trade momentum, pretty simple. Is a 1, 2, 3 pattern right here on the 186. Your target could be 175, to be honest. So keep an eye on this one if you want it. Why I don't want to put it like as one of my main watches? Because it's so extended to the downside that at any time it's just going to bounce. So I don't want to be in that short. So hard to get short. So especially when they're like extended to the downside. Now look at Microsoft, and Microsoft is one of my, say, if the market gets better, this is one of my better ideas that I would like to visit based on the monthly chart. So we testing like the market, we testing the 20 MA. Is that the 20? That's the 20 MA right there, 263. So we're pretty close to that. We see that buyers right here. Look at the tails, look at the tails, look at the last time we were there, look at this one. So basically we're testing this level right here. So can you get it right here? Absolutely, if that's your risk parameter. I mean, you can use a stop at 260 and try to get it for 283 and then 302. But the main idea will be to wait for it to actually trigger the 305. The 305 will be a monthly buy right here over the 305. We're not breaking the trend because we're still over the 20 MA. Not a power trend, but it's a good uptrend. So once you go with 305, you should make new highs. Talking long term. So Microsoft is a good one to watch. And then we have Google, which I'm looking at, and it's interesting because it's the third time that we're going to be testing this 2490. So it's like it's $2,000 stock, and it stops like 10 points from the prior, right? So we tested 2490, then we come 2497, 95 by the way. So it's 5 points, and today we go like 2513, which in total is like 23 points. So that's nothing. 23 points. It's a 1%, right? On 2000. So we're within 1% of this support line. Now, when I come into the monthly chart, what I see is that even at the 20 MA, I still have like 200 points to drop. So I'm not as positive as Microsoft in case the market start acting weak again. So this one could be actually a good short, right? Here's another thing that I want to show you guys pretty fast. I'm going to put it right here. The weekly squeeze just triggered. So we were on 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 weeks. Look at the pattern on the monthly. 15 weeks, 4 months. No progress. That's what the squeeze means. Low volatility. So where these guys actually distributing this thing, selling here, look at all the volume. So if these guys are actually sellers, big money sellers, this thing can actually drop pretty hard. So I'm thinking at least we can enter 20, 24, whatever the low is, like 24.90, I think is 24.90. Target 1 is 100 points. Target 2 is 200 points. Target 3 could be in the 2100s. So write it down. Okay. Make a note. Weekly squeeze fired. This is important, guys. This is important. Momentum is to the downside now. And there was a lot of, we thought it was accumulation. So we were waiting for this one. Now, this is another thing. And Kyle and I, we've been studying these patterns because this is what is called sort of a spring. So this is quite the opposite, guys. This is an uptrust. They got a lot of people trapped right here long. So what's going to happen? This one is a must watch, guys. Google a must watch. Momentum to the short side. Let's see what's going to happen. Now, when do we change our perspective? Pretty simple. Once we go over 27.25, which is the 200 MA. So I'm going to put an alert right here. Why? Because anything can happen. The market can change tomorrow. They decide to take over the world or whatever it is that they're going to do. Next, and news, fundamental news, they change. So now we have a different chart that is going to show you that probably Google is going to go up. Meanwhile, we stay looking for the short. Now, NVIDIA, I had it, I'm looking at the monthly chart, sort of similar to what the market is doing. So for this one, you know me, so I'll probably be waiting for buyers to step up, probably 230, 240, 250, right? So 240, 250, that'll be my long, right? What is interesting here is that we have the 200, the point of control. Let me just double check that information, because I think the point of control is at, no, it's right here. I thought I had it at 200. What do I have at 200? I have support right here, some support, right? Around this area. See it here, this is a pivot, right? So we came from 140, 200, pull back, 200, up, retest the 200. Look at this, blast off to 346. Now we're back to 208, trying to make it to very technical, guys. This chart is extremely technical. So what I want to see is how it reacted to 200 and probably try to make a trade between 200 and 240. Okay, so 200 and 240, those are levels, and I'm gonna assume it's a range, and it's gonna be developing inside the monthly chart. Okay, a little bit more complex than the other ones, but this could work. I mean, if I see 200, I want to know that Tesla, I'm sorry, that NVIDIA is at 200. Okay, see, we have a question right here. Yeah, Dov, absolutely. And I'm surprised no more people are familiar with that, because I've been talking about traps like for years now. Trap is not the technical term. Well, if you follow wyckoff, is different. Now, here's another one that I want to follow too. Reason being, look at the monthly, right? Look where we tested. We tested the 100, so we know 100 is a level right here. I hope you guys can see it. Pretty simple. 98, 92, 98, 100, 99. That's the same. Let's call it 100, right? So we have that little flag formation. Then we broke 120, retest the 98, then 164, then we retest 100. So now this is where we are. Now, why is this one so compelling? Look at the volume. So it's been doing above average volume for some good days. Let's say some good days. Look at the volume here. Like, and now that we are near a reference point, let's call it reference point, which is the 100, we start seeing all of this action right here. So what I want to see is, of course, 124 will be my entry on the weekly, on the monthly chart, right? So once we eat away this red bar, we trap these guys or whatever you want to call it. So 124 is a monthly buy. So 124 is a monthly buy. However, we can trade the 100 to 120 even the 100 to 115 on a good day, like the market start holding support, and then we see that there's some volume on AMD, this is probably one that I will do. Like something like today, if you see the trade today, went to 100 to 110, that's a 10% move. Right there, it's in play, 117% higher than average volume, clearly was in play today. So yes, if the market is at key levels, you will find some key stocks, even in the NASDAQ, at key levels that can give you 10% move intraday, right? So this is one, I'm gonna keep watching that one, right? Notice the volume increasing is daily. So I got the 100, 110 as the first move that I'm going to be watching. Then 114, that's an extra 5%, which is beautiful if you get to get it. And if you're really lucky, probably you're going to have like some awesome entry into 120, 124, and then you can keep it because now you're into the monthly chart. You back in the game, basically, right? This is what you're buying. This is what we're trying to buy, right? This is the 111 on a weekly chart. So once you start getting over, you see my shaded area right here, 113. This is what I'm looking. Reference, what am I expecting? Like, hey, some people will remember that this thing went from 100 to 164, which is an awesome move. That's what I'm talking about. That's a beautiful trade, 60% in 2 months, right? So if we can get, I don't need 60%, but if we can get 30%, that'll be awesome, right? So that's why AMD is now back into one of my main watches. Roblox, I know we've been talking about this one, but this is just a weekly downtrend, so I don't want to mess with that one until we break the downtrend. Why? Because it's all-time low, so you know how to trade that one, right? All-time low, so if you are momentum trader, just short the lows and that's it. Short prior day low and that's it. That's your play. Qualcomm, I'm looking at this one from the monthly. Let me see. 120, 193. The only idea I can think about this, and let me put it here on the bigger chart, is trying to measure like we have a massive move again, 66 to 170, pretty hot, consolidated sideways, did some wyckoff right here, some spring right there, by the way. And so people just shorted 122.90 instead of buying for 200 bucks, or some people got shaken out of the position, and then the next day or what, the next month, it went like a double. So that's how the springs and the uptrust work. So now what we have is when you measure your FIBs, you take it from here, which is the base, to the high, we are at the 61.8% retracement, which is a Fibonacci number. So whenever I see this, I start thinking like, okay, is this going to be technically trading with the Fibs? So I want to take a look at that one, right? So the only idea that I can come up with is like trade it as a Fib and see if the 61.8 is going to hold. I'm probably going to test 170. At least we're going to test 170. So 170 will be my target. So for this one, I'm going to call it as a range between 150 and 170. That'll be the type of trading in case there's some news tomorrow. There's something going on with Qualcomm. We see some momentum. Now, check this out. It's also doing higher than average. It was doing higher than average volume yesterday, but I just realized it's not big volume. So what I want to see is big volume on a day that we've at least managed to be over 150, 155. I'm probably taking for 170. And that's if that's the only one that I can find. Okay. So that's Qualcomm. PayPal is another one that I wanted to review with you guys because after the earnings, right? This is the importance of being in agreement or being a trend trader, basically, right? So look at the weekly downtrend. I know point of control, we try, and it's okay to try the reversal. We never got actual confirmation. You see my trigger right here? That's my alert, 199.50, and that's where we were supposed to start looking for a possible reversal. Once you start getting into this without the confirmation, I hope you're fast and take your losses, because this is what's going to happen, right? From there, and then we came into the day that the horrible earnings report, and then after the earnings report, I think it was like 100. So basically we're down 30% more. So this one, I just wanted to bring it up just to show you the power of trading with the trend, right? You can always make 2 points right here on this day that, you know, reversal, whatever, but the bigger trade is usually with the bigger trend. So this is like 40% from here, but from here, it just got cut in half. So you just make huge amount of money if you happen to be short. So that's the only thing I want to see. Now, what am I watching now? What I'm watching is the 80. Look at here, because there's a reason why we're bringing this chart to you guys. So look at the volume that we have. So PayPal at 84, look at the last time we tested 84. We were coming from 40, right? Make a new high at 120, try to break, trap people right here, and then exploded after they got stopped out at 90, exploded for $310, right? So it's interesting to see what's going to happen once we start fiddling again with the $85. That's a key level for PayPal. So if you want, if you're a momentum trader, you can always trade it 94 for 85. But please keep us posted whenever these things start hitting $85, $80 and call it on a monthly chart, because this could be actually, you know what? I don't know why I don't have my alerts. I should be having like plenty of alerts right there, right? 85 and the 80. And basically, this is good practice, guys. Check the month chart near big support, long term volume. There you go, below. So that day when I hear it, it's just not any other thing just popping on my radar for high of the day or whatever it is, right? So that's the PayPal. So I want to keep an eye on that one just from there. Now here's a different one. Supposedly it's payment, supposedly, but now it's blockchain or block, whatever it's called. So here's the difference, and I'm pretty sure you guys can tell the difference just from the chart. Look at PayPal making new lows. Look at Square. What happened? Failure to make a new low. We're making probably what it's a higher low. First higher low. So I want to be watching this one. Why? Because we tested, look at the level, 82.34 on a monthly. So 82.34 already tested. And now I want to see if buyers are going to come in. So what I want to do is like, it's clear that we're still testing the 100, right? So this was like a 3-day event into earnings. Not even into earnings. I mean, they gap it down to 82, which is like 20% drop. It's big, I understand, but then, you know, they've run it up into the 20 MA reversal. Really? I mean, you just make 80 to 140, you make 50%, you got to liquidate that thing. So basically, this could be just people profit taking. So keep this in mind, guys. 94 to 130. That's a 30% run in 2 days. Assuming you didn't buy prior to the earnings, which is a gamble. But like the second day, let's assume you will 110 to 130. That's 20 points. It's still like 18% move in a couple of days. This is great. So what I want to see is like once we start going, and you can see here, 105, 110. I want to try this reversal, right? Because we tested long-term support, buyers step in. We got probably good news. I don't know, guys, if because I wasn't here for 224, was it? Nah, I wasn't here. I heard that they declare a buyback, right? A stock buyback. So that could be something. So keep this one in mind, because this one I like it as a reversal. It's actually my favorite reversal that I want to be watching. So look at the week, look at the monthly too. This is where we tested, and this is the reversal that I want to be watching. Okay, so Square as a reversal, holding 100 over 106 for momentum. 130 is target one. Actually, no, 127 is target one. Over 130, we can buy more for 160, and probably we get it. Let's see what's going to happen. Wow. MU, All I can say about this one is near point of control, but point of control is not strategy for me. It's a reference point. Now, when we're in an uptrend and all the pullbacks are being bought, and I see a stock coming down to a point of control or to a moving average, then that's a strategy, because that's just a location. So for this one, when I look at the chart, yeah, it's a point of control. So what? It's in the sideways market, right? I hope you guys can see it. The daily is sideways, the monthly is sideways. I'm pretty sure the weekly will be sideways. Has to be, right? Very, we have a great play on this one. The pullback on the week, on the monthly, on the weekly, we call it the 85 to 100, almost hit 96. It's as close as it's gonna get to 98. So that's what it is. So now, can you trade it? Absolutely. It's gonna be like 79, 80, 81, 82 is your target one, 84 is your target three, 86 is your target, but yeah, you get the point, right? So there's always a trade. If you look, it's always a trade, but that's not my main play. So I want to give it like probably a couple weeks, then we revisit unless we have some catalyst, which, you know, will change the whole picture. That's what we trade. That's why Kyle makes such a great effort to put you a list with your, you know, the main catalyst, the main news, what's looking really good. Now let's look into some of the electrical stuff, the cars. So Rivian is weekly in control, is a downtrend. So this is another example of trading with the trend. Look at the weekly chart, down, sideways, low, short. So if you're one that trade this one, it's just weekly sell, trade with the trend. You should be short in this thing all the way to till it stops going down. Now let's look at Tesla, and Tesla is very interesting here, right? Look at the monthly. Let's refer to the monthly. I want to do it here. Here's the monthly. Here's the monthly. 800. So we knew that 711 was a big. That was a monthly point of control. When you put the monthly right here, 711 was the level, right? I don't know where's the chart that I have it. Probably on my other setting, but monthly point of control is 711. So that's where we stop. 709. Not a coincidence right there. You guys know there's no coincidence right here. So that's where we stop. So whenever you see it at 711, you have it. You should have known that that's a monthly point of control, and that's your support level, supposedly, right? Why? Because we're still over the 20 MA. You're still in a bullish formation. So that's when you buy 700 and you make $200 on that one per share, right? So where are we now? Now, what we're trying to put is we're trying to put a higher low right here. Lower high, right? First lower high, pivot lower high on higher than average volume today, still below the average, but it was higher than the last. So it looks like he hasn't been trading that much. So he shouldn't been trading this one, just that day from the 711, right? So where do we go from here? That's the main question, right? I'm looking at the higher low pivot watch, and 800, right, is a level that we need to watch. So once you break the 800, you know, it's all the way down to 700. But once you go over 900, the monthly will take over. That's my guess. That's my guess. I'm just doing technical analysis. I don't know if they're gonna come up with a new car, whatever it is. 895, you can see it right here. You can see it right here. 900, I play momentum all the way for 950, and off we go. 951, 165, 910, 15. And we're just playing the chart. Up, pull back, new high, retest, shake, tested the level. 697, 700, 711. By the way, 11 points on 700 is nothing. So that was just a check out to get long, and then you go all the way to 11, at least 1,000 right here, right? So entry will be 800, 900. I'm sorry, 900. 800. Once if you want to do this, then you have to keep in mind that you're just trading a range. Trade it as a range, 800 to 900. No volume. Nobody cares about that range. You can see here, nobody cares. They care about this one. They care about the 700, right? They care about, again, 900, which is the target 1. In here, nobody cares. So get there if you want, but that's not what we do. So that's Tesla. So we have a plan for Tesla, monthly buy over 900. I have a Lucid too. This one, I know we waited for like 3 days watching that thing and it was not going to go. Never give us a trigger. The trigger was 30.45, 30.65, never trigger. So same trigger, 30.45, if you want to trade that one. Why? Because it has a 20% target to the upside. So all I will be doing is like, once we start seeing these guys actually buying this thing, I like this, right? So once we go over 31, that's all we need. If we can hit 31 to 37, that's 20%. That should be enough in a couple of days to make our money. So Lucid, that's what I want to see. If you break, it's 21.50, and that'll be your momentum to the short side, right? 21.50, but you're probably going to test 2 points. You can get 10% over there. I'd rather wait and see if they're buying 31 and try to make my 20% to the long side, just because of the setup and location where we are. Look at all the volume that we have. So that's why Lucid, I favor the long side. Okay, so that's Lucid. And let me see Ford, which is another one that we were trading quite a bit not too long ago. We remember it was a base. Everybody was buying between 18 and 20 before it exploded 20%. Great trade, pulled back. We try to buy again, and then the market just took us out. So that's it. No trade anymore. So where are we now? Now when you come into the monthly chart, here's what you see on the monthly chart. Of course, we have the powered uptrend right here, pull back, entry right here on the monthly chart. Entry was 14.46, call right here, guys. 16 was the ad, 25 and 26 and 30, I think it was the chart, the targets. We went extended, very extended, very far from the 2 standard deviation and 3 standard deviation. So you know what's going to happen eventually. Any news is going to hit it. Now, where are we now? Now we're testing 16, which is this stop that we made right here in June last year. How far are we going to go? We don't know. We're waiting to see, because I don't have a lot of volume just yet, right? So this one can easily go test 15, which is another 8 to 9%. So I'm waiting. I'm going to be patient on this one, or attack it once I start seeing people buying it. When is that going to be? Once at least I know that this volume is behind me, I'll probably be taking 18, and target one will be 19.48. And then once we get into the 20s, then the same trade that we were doing, this is the monthly buy on Ford over 18.21. Okay, so 18.21, 18.50 for a monthly buy. That's how I'm gonna work with Ford. So that's one to probably keep in mind for the summer. We're almost there. So here's YM. Another of the automakers. Again, this is a weekly downtrend, so I don't trade against the big money. That's me, right? Why? Because I try to get ideas that can pay me for 1, 2, 3 days, 10, 15, 20, 30%, ideally, if I get lucky, because luck is a part of trading. So when I start seeing patterns that we recognize, like you come down and you start sideways and you take lows, that's a momentum short. Once you take this one, the 47, your target is right there. We just hit it, 41.38. Why? It's a technical, it's a reference level. Everybody knows about the 200 MA. So from here, where do we go? Well, we are the 200 MA. Now, if you are inclined to trade this one and you see it weak, just take the low, play the 200 as your stop, which is 41.50, and we don't have any volume till 31. Which is massive. By the way, let me correct that one. Erase that one from the notes, Mish, because let me look at the monthly chart, and the monthly chart will stop me at probably 37. So yeah, it's a 10%. It's a 10% drop. I don't know why I said that, right? I was on the weekly, but look at the monthly. Look at the monthly. So actually 37. I'm gonna put all there right there. You know, let me know, because that's the big level where a lot of people probably accumulated 36 insiders and a lot of people in the know probably before they came out saying that they were going to be fully electric by year 20, whatever. So that's where the people actually got. So 35 to 70, that was a good run for 100%. So I'm going to be looking at that one. If you're a momentum trader, you know what to do. Just take the low and your target is 37. And at 37, let us know when you cover, because we may look into that and maybe open a swing, right? So here's NEO. And NEO, when you compare NEO to GM, look at the difference, right? So NEO has no one till, my God, $3. What is it? $5? So yeah, I don't want to get into that one. Look at the 40. There was some people here, the 40. This is a normal distribution. So a lot of the volume was made at the 40. And now we have another peak right here that we just broke. So we are under the 20, 22. So this could be momentum. We hit 1705, but the problem is like it's going to stop like every 3 or 4 points. So target will be on NEO $14. That's actually interesting for those of you that trade lower price stocks, because this could be something. This could be something like under 18 for 1480. I want to write it down. There's a Momo. Sometimes I take one of these. I totally forgot what was the trade that I did prior to going on vacation that we nailed it so good. Like, what was it? It was almost a penny stock. I don't even remember what it was. Anyways, so that's NEO. CrowdStrike. I know we're awaiting. It's 3.9. It's tomorrow. So yeah, we got earnings tomorrow. So most likely we're gonna have to put those CrowdStrike and all the other security, Datadog, CrowdStrike, FireEye, all of those, just don't watch. Let's see what happened. FireEye doesn't even exist anymore. I don't know if they do. So let's look at oil, guys. I know you've been trading oil. So yeah, we were having a little bit of a strategy session, and we're talking about this one. Like, this is exactly what you want to see. Like, I usually don't trade oil, and the reason is because when stock moves like this, I want to zoom in. This is not the type of trades or days that I want to get involved. Probably this day, not even higher than average volume. So that's how you start picking your battles, basically, right? I'm not saying you cannot make money, because a good trader usually can make money on a lot of the things that we normal traders can't, right? But that doesn't mean it doesn't take a special talent or ability to make it. So on days like this, that's when you want to be trading CVX. So you see 1, 2, 3. So I was explaining, and I'm just going to do this as an example of how this one could have been played. And I know you guys did it. And I'm going to tell you exactly what days I could have played it and what days I could not play it, right? So this is my monthly chart, right? So we all see that this is like a sort of a breakout play. We have a lot of volume right here at 117, 120 coming from 3 years ago, something like that. So this is like a big resistance level. Once we start going over 130, 133, but the main thing is this 117. This is a good reference level, especially because we're setting up. Look at this one. This is what I call a 1, 2, 3 continuation pattern. Like, this is prior to the beginning of the year. So the year actually kicked off with a very bullish setup for this particular oil thing over 120. Okay, so let's see how that one develops. So we go into 120, and this is right here, right? So we have some sideways consolidation, and then this is when we got to be on top. If we're really going to be trading oil, we got to be on top of this breakout play right here, 140. 140. Where's your target? Your target one should be like up around here, 160, and then we talk about the 174, which is the extension, right? So how do you play that? Or when did I decide that I could be playing oil? Like this, it's not for me. I understand the monthly chart is telling me that 120 is a long, but then I'll be like, yeah, 122, 127, and then it's going to take forever. Like, if I'm wrong, 120, 125, 129, back down to 122, back up to 135, back down. So pretty much this is noise for me. Once we start going over 140, which is the level that we got from the weekly chart, right? We got it. We got it right here. Look at the setup. Okay, once you go over the 140, that's the day I want to make sure everyone in the room is focused on that thing, right? Because what we have is like the prior day, we have higher than average volume, right? At highs, probably, I'm not going to say all-time highs, but at least 5-year highs. So what is our goal? That's like a second day play. Absolutely second day play on oil, which everybody's talking about it because of the war with Russia, on higher than average volume, on good action, good price action. ATR is expanding. I promise you, because I can see it is a bigger than average candle. So all you have to do is buy the prior high. And that's when you actually buy the prior high, right? So this is a second day play, long. If you decide to keep it, I won't blame you. Why? Because it's a breakup play on oil and there's news. So that's a good bet, to be honest. So that's something that I could do intra to hold. And then the next day is another small gap up. This is not gonna, it's just momentum. So all you have to do is wait for your entry over the high and you continue. So basically it gives you 1, 2, 3, at least 4 days, including today, which is a bullish gap. 3 or 4 days out of 8, but a move from 140 to 174, that's 34 points. That's like a 25% move in 2-3 days. That's amazing. So kudos to those that were trading this one like masters, because this was absolutely a great trade. So CVX stays on the look and on the watch just because we know there's going to be a lot of news about oil. There's going to be a lot of, there's noise, you know, there's people saying he's going to go 150, he's going to go 200, whatever. So keep an eye on that one. This absolutely is in play. This is what you want to see when you're doing a breakout play. Look at the volume confirmation. Now let's look at the other one, the other oils, and let's see who else is doing this. Keep this one in mind. We're talking about 225. Okay, that's when CVX actually say, okay, it's time to play me long. Oxy 225. We come right here, 228. So this one was actually lagging, right? So 224, 225 did nothing. Following day was 228. So you could have done this one as a second day play, absolutely valid. And then probably this one as a breakout play. But as you see, it only gave you like 1 or 2 trades, like clean trades. Difference is, look at the monthly chart, totally different. Look at all the resistance. You got a lot of price to the left. When you look at the CVX, you can see where we are. This is like, yeah, they're oil, but it's not the same, right? It's like they're meat, or they're, you know, but there's some meat and then there's another meat. So it's not the same. So yeah, I get it. So XOM, so help me out with that one. So CVX, of course, is going to stay. MRO is about to take the highs, but now we're up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 months and 100%. So this one, I don't know how's that going to work. What else, guys? You guys trade Hal? That's Halliburton. Try to break. Could give you a good scalp just because it's in play. Anything else, Kyle? CVX.
No, because the options start to get real messy in a lot of these other ones.
Okay, so basically what we're doing is CVX, and we just follow for a pullback that give us a good entry, probably 140. Yep. We'll see. Would I go short? I have to go see USO. Is this the best one to trade for trading the the
CVX
oil?
has been good for the options and just the momentum in it. And then Oxy.
Look at the USO, pretty much the same chart as I mean, no, not the same. The daily. Okay, Occidental. Yeah, couple good days. Yeah, couple good days. Definitely. I mean, these are more like it's just the other one was just perfect. I mean, this is just perfect. The other thing I
Yeah, that one's been
saw,
the best.
I think our airlines were up. No, we're down big yesterday, and then they try to bounce today. So I think that's in reference to oil. But I find a couple charts that are really compelling. AAL, which is American Airlines, and the only reason why I like it is because they bought it right here, brought it into target one, which is this prior area of support that now becomes resistance. This is very basic, guys. Review your options mastery course if you're not clear about this. You know, once you're here, you're not out of the woods. You're right at prior support that becomes resistance, right? You're still in a reversal trade. We gotta wait for 27.30 to be long. Otherwise, this is what happens. Okay, so we're coming into big level right here, 13.15. We tested yesterday, 12.80, right there, point of control on a monthly chart or whatever. And now we try to go. So what I'm looking to do is probably just because of the look at the huge volume. So if you're a momentum trader, you know, 12.44, you go short, but I'm also looking at the 15. So my main area, I'm going to be looking at this one from 12.5 to 15 as a range, just because it's big. You know, it's like a 20% move that we can capture on a day that this one is actually doing something. When you go into the weekly chart, this probably you will understand a little bit more what I'm trying to do. So I have this accumulation right here, or this reversal, right? There's people supporting this level at 14, came all the way to resistance, prior support becomes resistance, and here's the 50 MA. So now we're selling into possible pivot high, pivot lower high. So if this is a shakeout, what happened between yesterday and today, 1487, you see the level right here, that was the prior low for the year. So once I start seeing 1487, 15 bucks, I can probably play it from 15 to 17 to 20 bucks. And all I'm doing is like, look at this. This is like a cup. This is not a handle because the handle should have made a new high. But what I'm looking for is this one as my signal, right? So 15 to 20. But for now, it's 1250, which is here, 1250 to 15 bucks. That's what I want to be doing with AAL. So I'm clear about that. LUV is another one that what I saw on this one was on a weekly chart, like this level right here, right? The 39 to $40. I have volume right here. We did hold. So if I can see just a simple double bottom type of play at the $40 for a 10% move to 44. So 40 to 44 on LUF, I'm sorry, 40 to 44. If we can trade off this hammer, right? That's all I'm going to see. So when we go into the daily, because that was a weekly, you're going to see the same level right here, right? Just look at this. I'm working with this hammer, assuming that this is going to hold, and this is just a shake into this base that we were having. Everybody got stopped right here at 36. Now we're back into 40 for 44. Let me see the daily again because I didn't see it. Yeah, 40. We almost got it right here. 40 for 44. Pretty simple. It's a reversal trade also on LUF from 40 to 44. Okay. The banks, I think they were in play yesterday. How's the time? Time check. We still got like 10 minutes. Oh, DVN. Yeah, we can do some energy. Actually, yes. DVN. Devon. Wow, man. Those daily candles. Dewo, you need like perfect entries on that. Like, because yeah, absolutely. This is a beautiful, and I was also talking to the guys before, like during the morning. And I said, like, most of the times I like to play oil as a swing trade. of key levels because of this. I try to avoid all of this. Like you have to wait on this one for 20 days to finally make a move. So today, I mean, like I don't know how to read this candle, so I cannot help you. All I know is like if you're a momentum trader, you go over highs 63.10 and you try to capture whatever it is. If you're a support resistant trader, it appears that 56 could be a good level to buy, right? Based on the move. So 56 will be your entry. But that's more based into each individual trader because based on our playbooks, we can pretty much trade anything. You can trade whatever you want, right? But as far as the big ideas, like things setting up is a little bit more harder. So let me see LMT, which is Lockheed Martin. And this is interesting. This looks like CVX double. Oh my God, CVX. I'm gonna have nightmares with this one. What a perfect chart. Okay, this one, Lockheed Martin taking 450 from coming from 325, so we up 125 points. So I'll see a pullback to 400 that holds and then go back. You probably don't want to see it go all the way down to 400. Volume is up on the break of the 400, so you should be long, right? Setting up, tune, dividend, whatever. I mean, it's momentum, Hassam. I'll say you take 470 and try to see where it goes. 420 could be a good entry. 420, yeah, the pullback, absolutely. Measure the pullback. Like this is a bullish weekly setup. We know this. Up, sideways, sideways, breakout. So once you start coming down, take it from here to here and put your fips and calculate your trades. So from here to here, and there you go. 428 should be 50%. Yeah, that could be cool. Yep, I like it. I don't know how he trades, but I know you do a lot of swing too. Home Depot, thank you, Strong. What's up? So Home Depot, Home Depot. Any chart you want to reference? I mean, 300 is a level. Yeah, continue Momo, but if you want to do continue Momo, short 316 and into 300. Right? Because once you get into the 300, you're right at support. So that'll be, yeah, you will need big momentum, right? But the problem is like now you're down 120 points from the high. So I'm not saying it's not going to work, but like 300 to 290. So you want to wait for 300 to make 10 points. You might as well take a shot at that one and short it 315, 316 tomorrow into 300. Right? Because I like the daily. The daily we just made a pivot, right? We just coming here. We have the news, right? Came down, got bought, didn't break the high of the bad news day. So basically, this is your pivot. This is your stop. And every time we came right here at 329, they sold it, they sold it, they sold it. That's the perfect entry, right? 329, 325 is your perfect. Now, what we are talking about momentum trading is, for me, it will be short under 318. This is a 319, so I'm already there. Like if I'm Momo, I'll be right there. 318, target 1308, target 2300, and then if I get lucky, I go for 280, right? But yeah, but I mean, it's good. Actually, I'm gonna write it down because this is like a daily sell. It's a daily sell on Momo, and it can work under 318 or versus 319, 318, 308, 300. And I know 300 is a big support resistance level, right? So once I get into 300, we can probably see 275 if it gets really bad. Okay, but that again, that's the same discussion we were having. It all depends on how we trade, right? You can wait to 300, but yeah, I mean, it's a solid trade right here. All you need is to see the writing on the wall tomorrow, like Home Depot on volume, shorting, or the market starts running up and you see Home Depot 320 again, 321, and then it starts rolling down. By midday, you can probably take a stop of, like a short with a $1 stop and just let it ride for 5 points, 10 points, who knows? Okay. So that's Home Depot. And I know First Solar, I think the solars were really strong today because, alternative energy. So this could be a theme. Thanks for bringing that up. I think this could be a theme because I know solars where, I don't know if
we had
it's
the TAN today. TAN.
TAN that's the solar ETN? No.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, so this is this could be a theme. So let's put it on the momentum watch. First Solar is the one that I really hate to trade because of high trades. But look at this. 81, 86. We can scalp this. We can probably scalp this. Anybody has the other one? So you have First Solar, TAN. I'm gonna write it solars as a theme, because now everybody wants to be energy independent. Russia is trying to, or is telling that they're gonna cut the ties for the, what is it called? The pipeline that goes to Germany. So now the Germans are scared, all that
It's
stuff.
the
Nord 1, right? Because the Nord 2, they already said no. So now I think they're thinking on doing something with the Nord 1. So that could be interesting, at least for a theme, right? Like for what we do, like a couple days, 20%, 30% move. Awesome. That's all we need. So the 10 was in play today, absolutely in play today. I can see it. Beautiful volume, intraday. So you got the gap up, not really that much volume pre-market. So 74, 77. Yeah. Anything else, guys, in here? EMPH, EMPH. EMPH, look at the monthly. Monthly is really nice. We're inside. We tested lows, 130. So we're inside here. We tested the lows, 130. So now we're 175. What I'm thinking is big volume today. This is a bullish setup right here, going over the 200 MA, and we just stop right there, which is beautiful. 182, stop it, right? Exactly the point right here, 183.50, give or take. Volume 183. So let me see if the weekly is showing us a good pattern that we can trade. Oof, this is tempting, guys. This is tempting. 184. Yeah, worst case scenario, we hit 190. 184, 190. I'm gonna put it as a momentum. I don't know how this one trades, Kyle, as far as the EMVAs and face, as far as the options. It's 185, 190, 200. Okay. What else, guys? Vale.
check plug.
Oh, it's EDG. It's EDG. Club. What is it? Oh,
Plug.
oh, plug. 25, 50. They're setting up. This one could give us another trade. And this is something we can nail 10% right there, Kyle. I like it. I don't want to think like, as far as the longer term charts, I know there's I mean, this is a sideways move, of course, but if we can nail the day when this thing is going to move, like sort of what we saw with the NEO, right? We waited and waited and waited and waited, never give us an entry. But if it goes an entry, I'll say 26.25, I think it is 26.30. Yeah, let's watch plug over 26.30 for momentum for 27.5. Now we're getting into tomorrow's job work. 27.9, 29. It's a 10% move. So we should be doing tomorrow morning. But yeah, this plug, I like it. Vale. Monthly is not making a new high. Got sold off at 23. We're 1980. Got sold off at 2094. Red bar. Big volume today. I don't see a pattern right there, my friend. SCDG, we already talked about it. Oh no, SCDG is another one. I thought it was SEDG. Solar Edge. That daily looks good. That daily looks good. Monthly. Let's see a weekly. We're gonna have trouble right here, 350. But yeah, that's 10%, right? 220, 350, 20 points. It's sideways. Now, what we want to make sure is we keep an eye on this one. If it starts going 370, 380, sometimes, guys, it's better to wait and pay up, right? And sometimes it's better to wait and pay down. It all depends on the location that you have and the pattern that you're trading. So that's why we make so much emphasis on knowing when high of the day is an entry and a strategy, and when actually low of the day could be the best entry to a strategy. SEDG, what else we have? Apache already, right? Already did. Apache. Who's in control, Hassan? Weekly? These are all momentum, guys. These are all momentum. Definitely. Like oils, solars, probably, you know, the couple airlines that we discussed, that could be a decent one. I said I was gonna touch on the banks pretty fast right here, because I think now we run out of money. No, I run out of time. Oh, don't say that. We don't run out of money. We run out of time. But time is money. So JP Morgan pulling back, probably the 120 could be a good place to look for that one if you are inclined to look into the banks, and probably a fib retracement from 200 to 426. That put us at 226, 130, 113. So that's 313. So 313 is 15% 50% retracement into Goldman Sachs. So let's keep an eye. Let's keep an eye on one of them just in case, because I saw WFC was doing something today. I don't know if it was good or bad, but now I can tell under 45 start getting into trouble for a 10% drop into 40, right? So this looks like a setting up for momentum short. So under 45, yeah, probably gives good 10%. I'm just gonna write it down. Not the best looking chart, but just to keep something from the banks, because I don't know what happened to them. Like 60 to 40, that'll be a 50% reduction. Okay, guys, I'll see you tomorrow. Glad to be back. Remember the cues, please re-watch the first 10 minutes. If you want, DM me, because I did have a PDF that I can send you just based on the, the first 10 minutes when we discuss the cues. I want to make sure that we all have the proper tools and we are at the, same mind frame basically on how important is the levels that we're testing for the cues. Okay. So thank you so much for your time. See you tomorrow. Okay.
Thanks, Mario.
Okay. Bye.
I see you guys in the morning.